and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Reflections. I promise you, today is going to be so amazing. Grab your popcorn, anything that you have, sit down, relax, and watch. I'm still your girl, Cynthia, and today on Reflections, I have a very vibrant woman. But before we get to her, have you noticed that these days people are becoming so impatient? You know, by the time you give anybody a ghost, they give you a corresponding bass. So everywhere we go, it's just a bass goes something. And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today on this week's episode of Reflections. The culture of cancelling is becoming so much, so prevalent around us these days. Before you say Jack, somebody is saying cancel this person, cancel that person. Let's talk about it. What is really going on? So in the studio with me today, I have a black beauty, a true brown skin woman. She's a creative director of Lord Olaoye's Signature, a mother of 3 amazing kids, and a wife. And today together we'll be discussing the culture of cancelling. How are you today, Mrs. Florence? Hope you're doing very well. Thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
When I first contacted you and you were like, let's talk about this thing, what got you so excited about the topic?
Well, maybe because I'm a social media enthusiast.
Oh, okay. And being a social media enthusiast, you must have experienced this culture of cancelling, People just don't want to hear. As you give them the buzz and they give you ghosts.
Well, in this show that we find ourselves today, talking about this culture cancelling thing, it's due to the widespread use of the social media. So it is easy for people, to come out on social media to, come out and cancel people.
But how about also in our personal relationships? Because I've seen in situations where 2 persons, you see 2 friends who have been together 15 years, 20 years, the one small thing like this will just happen. And unlike before, when we will say, okay, let's sit down and talk about the situations, let's talk about the issues. Any small thing, my mental health, I beg. My mental health, just day your day, make a day my day. I don't know.
Well, the person is just, I tell people something, make sure you protect your mental health at all costs. Prioritize your well-being. Prioritize your mental health. So anything that you feel is going to tamper with your mental health, avoid it.
But should that also be at the detriment of valuable relationships? Because that is the core of the conversation today. People are so quick to throw away valuable relationships.
Wow, talking about valuable relationships, for you it's a personal thing now.
Okay.
Before I can introduce somebody as my friend, I make sure that person is my friend indeed. I don't just introduce someone as my friend.
Okay.
So for you to have claimed someone to be your friend, I don't think that relationship should just be trashed due to anything.
Which is what we are talking about.
Yes, it shouldn't be trashed. It should be something that you two could just, sit down and reason together and talk it out.
But people are becoming more impatient these days. What is
the reason why people are becoming more impatient? I can tell you, it is not that possible like that for you to call somebody out, one-on-one in the real life. But it is more massive on the social media.
Talking about social media, something happened recently. 2 celebrities. I don't know if you follow. I don't want to mention the name of the program. You want the name of the platform. But something happened. 2 friends had a fallout, and then one came on Instagram and started detailing the whole history. Watching all the dirty linens of that person on the streets of Instagram. I know how slippery those streets can be.
Like I said earlier on, they are not good friends initially. I can tell you, and I tell people something. There is this, general slang that they use. Avoid see finish. Yes. For you to open up your nakedness to somebody you call your friend, you should have made sure you have tested and trusted that person to an extent of you opening up to that person fully. So at the end of the day, and while you're still, having a friendship with someone, you should always, respect and protect your mental health, like I said earlier on. Just make sure you give gaps. You give 12 yards, like Yoruba people will say.
Set boundaries.
Yes, set boundaries. You need to respect and set boundaries. Once the person is setting their own boundaries, respect that person's boundary. And you too make sure you set your own boundaries as well. You don't just, open all your dirty linens to somebody you don't even know deep down. So before there is a little misunderstanding, boom. And some people are not even mature enough to be some people's friend anyways.
Have you been cancelled before?
Not really.
Are you sure?
Yes, I tell people something. Make sure you develop a shock absorber. And always prepare for the worst. If it doesn't happen, congratulations. But if it does, because you have created a shock absorber, my sister, it won't really hit you that hard. Something you have prepared for.
Have you cancelled somebody? Person just piss you off and you are like, I beg.
Sincerely,
from this day onward, go your way.
Sincerely, if I say I haven't done it before, it's all lies. But the more we grow up, the more we come to realization of some things, the more we learn, unlearn and relearn.
Of course.
I've done it before. Maybe consciously or subconsciously. Even on social media, you will see massive people, dragging some people and calling them out. You've not even had any one-on-one relationship with that person. You don't know if it is true or not. You just join the trend. Because of the massive, support from other people that truly this person does this, we need to do this, and you will join the trend. I've done it before. But now that I've, grown to some extent, I have stopped it. Okay, so if you were to turn back the hands of time, what would you do differently regarding those relationships that you cancelled? Would you keep them? Would you do things differently from what you did before? Well, definitely yes. And if I have the opportunity, even to converse with the person, I will converse with the person and apologize and make peace. The Bible even says we should pursue peace with all men. So it's not too late. Yeah. So let's just say tonight could be an opportunity for her to make that bold move. Can we say that? Yeah. Because it's never over. We will get to that point when we'll talk about the effects, the impact of cancellation on relationships. I'm careful not to talk so much about social media because it is really broad. And on social media, people that cannot even confront you face to face, they will see you on social media and they will be forming keypad warriors, So I'm careful not to go to that part. But let's talk about our interpersonal relationships, face-to-face relationships. Today you see a husband and a wife, all cozy and all of that, two loving people, and then tomorrow they are cat and dogs. The impatience, the intolerance. Someone just did one thing, that would have all you needed to do was just sit down and let's have a conversation. Let's have real conversations, soulful conversations that can change things. But you know what, just go, let me go for the sake of our mental health. People hide under the cover of mental health to do a lot of things. Yeah, the reason that this thing has affected a whole lot of people mentally. But for some, it has caused depression in the lives of some. I feel like most times the things that I'll tell you what, I had an incident with a friend of mine. We are at least 15 years in friendship. And then we had a misunderstanding sometime in 2019. Wow. From her end, she thought I did something. She perceived me in a certain way. From my end, I also perceived her in a certain way. We did not sit down to talk about those issues. After that time, we were already 10 years in friendship. So for 10 years, we were besties. And we didn't get to, at least even if I'm not initiator, make you initiator. Let's talk about the issues. What's going on? We used to talk to each other every day, and then suddenly we are no longer talking. And I said, I beg, I'm the bigger girl, let me just do my day. And she's like, I beg, you do your day. And then it continued like that. For 2 years, we stopped talking to each other. Wow. It's just recently we started talking again. And then on one of those conversations, she said what she thought I did.
And I told her it was not what she thought. And I explained what happened. And I also told her what I thought she did. But the bottom line is, we had that conversation after 2 years of a crack in our relationship. Some persons don't get the chance to mend it. I was lucky I had my friend back. I learned a long time ago that you can't make old friends. Those persons who know your in and out. They know your temperament. They can understand your silence. When you're not talking, they know why you are not talking. And they can read your mind even when you're quiet. And those kind of persons, we throw them away just because of an offense that could have been talked about, and then we move on. It's an issue. It's affecting relationships. It's affecting everybody. What is the problem, Gong?
The problem, like I said earlier on, is still due to the widespread use of the social media. So is social media affecting our personal relationships? Yes. How? So we see some people, there are people that they can't even, sit down and call out and talk with or talk to in the real life. You will see them go on social media, social media is not a respecter of any man. And because of anonymity on social media too, some people have 10 different, anonymous accounts on social media. I'm telling you that they used to troll people. Now, just to troll people. So don't be surprised that your friend might still, create an anonymous account just to call you out on social media. Because in the real life, she can't just, look into your eyes and, confront you on some things. So they will now go on social media and, start calling people out, start, talking a whole lot of things about them. And they might even recruit people online. They will recruit, anonymous accounts too. Recruit haters. Yes, they will begin to recruit them. And maybe somebody just see your picture on social media. Maybe somebody that doesn't even like the way you look good. You're looking good is, like a threat to that person. And once the person just see that somebody is, calling you out on social media, boom. No, my enemy, they don't push and come my side. She will support the movement. So social media has really caused a whole lot in this culture cancelling. It has caused a whole lot. That's just the truth. So we blame it first on social media, right? Yes. The first culprit in this situation is social media. Because I can bet you some years ago, when this social media hasn't come to gain ground like this, there was nothing really as culture cancellation. Yes. But people see they beef each other that time, just like they beef like each other. But then it doesn't go viral. Social media virality has encouraged it. So then you can beef somebody, beefing the person, fine, you beef and waka pass, you too waka your own pass. But some people, after still beefing you in this social media era, they will go online and start trolling you again. And I also think that from what you just said now, something else crossed my mind. Social media, two persons can be sitting down here and they're not talking to each other. Very well. And they press phone, they press phone. Not like we are having a beef. Let's just go online. Let's see what's trending on Twitter. Let's go and see whether Whiskey and the video fans, FC and 30BG, if they are fighting, Two people just sit down. Social media has actually, with all the good that comes with it, it also has its own downsides. Exactly. And this is a part where you just mentioned now, because if we are not talking to each other, we should be uncomfortable about the situation, which will now bring about, let's sit down and talk about the issues, right? But when I have social media to feed my eyes on for the whole day, if I can, see beautiful pictures, see beautiful people, read different stories, what is the point? What do I need friend for? So I think social media here is actually influencing a lot, in this situation. But beyond social media, what else do you think is part of the problem? Well, like I said earlier on, some people now, how do I put it? Our phone is taking the place of some things and some people in our lives, including even couples. When couples have misunderstanding or disagreements, you see them, they just hold on to, even without social media now, just pressing their phone, maybe snapping pictures and all of that. But as individual, we shouldn't allow anything come between our relationship with people. Because so many are times where you need people, your phone cannot cover that place for you.
Of course.
So you definitely need people. We all need people. We all need people in our journey to the top, in our journey anywhere. We need people. So we shouldn't allow any gadgets take the place of people's relationship in our lives. Yeah.
So now, as a way of ending the discussion tonight, I want to take us back, to where you said you have cancelled people, quite alright. And if you had a chance to do things differently, you will call them to a round table. Let's sit down and talk. And yes, I want you to promise our viewers that tonight, or at least first thing tomorrow morning, you're going to pick up your phone and you make that call. I pray that they are still here. They haven't said goodbye to the world. As long as they are still here, because you and I can sit down here and we are talking about this conversation, about this topic rather. We have identified that there's a problem. I need you, you need me, we need each other to survive. But these days we are becoming quite intolerant of each other. Issues that we should sit down and talk about, we are not having those conversations anymore. We are letting things that don't matter to take the place, Now that we identify that there's a problem, what is the way forward? We have to mend these broken bridges. And Madam Florence, creative director of Olaoye, she is a makeup artist, don't bad. Makeup artist, don't bad. One of the baddest in Abeokuta, going outside and coming back in. So, Madam Olaoye, you have to promise us today. This change is starting with you.
Yes, I'm going to initiate the change and I'm going to make amendments. Yes.
Thank you for that. You're making that call. You're sending that message.
Definitely.
You're going to have that conversation.
I'm going to do that. Even though some people I cancelled are not people I even know one-on-one.
We can talk about those ones later, but the ones you know
the ones I know one-on-one, I'll definitely make amendments.
Thank you for that. So on reflections today, we have can we call ourselves peacemakers tonight? Thank you so much, Ma. So that is all that we have on the episode today. And please, let's not forget, all that we have is ourselves, and the only time that we have for ourselves is the time we have in our hands. Tomorrow is not promised to any man. We can sleep today and we are not here tomorrow. Nobody prays for that, but it happens anyway. So please, the little time that we have in our hands, we have to create good memories with the people that we love. As much as we can, let's live at peace with all men, because at the end of the day, nobody carry this world come. I'm not going to carry and come over here. See you again next week. I remain Cynthia until my phone. Bye for now.